I'd like to call this meeting of the Villa Park Village Board to order. Today is December 16th at 7 p.m. Clerk Konecki, could you please call the roll?
Trustee Salella?
Here.
Trustee Kazone?
Here.
Trustee Murphy? Here. Trustee Patrick?
Here.
Trustee Tucker? Here. Trustee Wagner?
Here.
President Volpus?
Here, let's all stand for the pledge and then remain standing for a short prayer. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Trustee Wagner has a short prayer for us.
Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion. Allow us to grow closer as a group and nurture the bonds of community. Fill us with your grace as we make decisions that might affect the residents, staff, businesses, surrounding communities, and all those that enter the village of Villa Park. And continue to remind us that all we do here today, all that we accomplish, is for the pursuit of truth, for the greater glory of you, and for the service of humanity. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is public comments on agenda items. That would be items number 5 through 9. Clerk Konecki, anyone signed up?
I have no one.
Okay, anyone from the public have any comments on an agenda item? Okay, seeing none. Move down to the amendments to the agenda. Does any board member have any amendments they'd like to make? Trustee Tucker.
I'd like to amendment on 8A.
8.
Is it really official that we need to do this one tonight?
Okay, could you say that again, please?
Is it a time-sensitive thing that we need to do 8A tonight?
Well, yes and no. The developer would like to get started. Is there a special reason why you want to postpone that?
I would like to postpone it to the first meeting in January for the simple fact there's a lot of different variances we're going to have to do on this, and I would like to look a little more over it. I mean, we're giving him special use. He's in a C district, and that's a variance we have to give. We have to give him a variance for the building size of the dome. Zoning. Planning and zoning had a few issues that they were concerned about with the parking. I kind of would like to have a little more time to look this over before I make a decision.
Well, I've read over the material, so I didn't have any problem with the planning and zoning. Had a number of meetings on this, but it's up to the rest of the board if they want to defer it. So I guess it would have to be a motion to defer that to a date certain.
Date certain, yes, sir.
So we need a motion and a second to defer that item to a date certain. Trustee Murphy?
I have a question.
Well, wait a minute. We would need the motion.
Motion
would
before
like-
we ask a question?
Before we have discussion.
Okay.
I would like that motion
Okay.
to move it to the first meeting in January then.
Okay, the 16th, I believe it is. Okay, anyone else? Trustee Patrick?
Mr. President, I'd like to second that motion.
All right. Okay, question?
Just looking for input on if there is anything time sensitive. Does anyone, perhaps from Public Works, have any additional insight that would be a negative impact if we were to defer this to the next meeting?
The only thing I know, we've had already deferred, planning and zoning had a number of meetings on it, so if there's anything time sensitive, Patrick, do you have anything?
Staff doesn't have any issues with time sensitivity of it, but the petitioner is
Yeah.
here, and perhaps Mr. Venice could shed some light on whether or not it would pose any difficulties for him.
Mr. Bennis?
As of right now, I have bylaws for the inside of the building, the plumbing, electrical, build out, everything, all the rough plumbing is done, all the rough electrical is done, so we're going for final this week. Next week, we're going to be looking for the rest of the inspection, so the interior is already done with the build out, so we'll start on the outside. I already have in place contractors go in for permits. This is transferred to next month, it would be a problem because then, right from here, when if everybody approves it, I have to take it into permitting, and that'll take some time also, so it just continues on. Like I said, everybody is in place to move forward if we could.
You have a tenant lined up?
I do.
Any projected date when they want to open?
They were hoping to be in for permits sometime in January also, with everything passing approvals, with everything, with the inspections, with the inspectors that are coming in.
Okay, thank you. Now, I think, Trustee Tucker, one of your questions was about parking.
Correct.
I believe the Planning and Zoning Commission, Patrick, addressed the parking issue, and they were satisfied with that?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any other issue you had, Trustee?
From when getting to the point, they just let it go by. They didn't resolve the parking issue that they had, that he was asking about parallel parking. I can tell. They just said, okay, we'll let it go because it's been that way for 25 years. That isn't resolving the parking issue.
Trustee, Director Grill?
The issue was more of the fact that in order to address the drive lane width, which in a couple of instances was less than a 24-foot drive aisle width that we have in the code, was that perhaps if they had some parallel parking, they would still meet the amount of parking necessary, but the Planning and Zoning Commission thought that the parallel parking would create more hazards than leaving it as it was. And that's why they were satisfied with leaving it with the 90-degree parking and not going to a parallel parking.
But the new tenant, which we have, isn't that going to make a different aspect of parking on it? I can see him not needing parking, but
Staff
depending
looked
on the
at
tenant.
that space because staff was aware of the tenant that they wanted to put in there, and there still would be enough parking on site, even with parallel parking, as opposed to the 90-degree parking, which is proposed this evening, which does add, I want to say, approximately 3 additional spaces to the site. But either way, there would be sufficient parking on site.
Without a traffic concern, because the biggest issue was that it was a dead end and they would still have to be turning around going from one way to another. It was not a two-way trip.
Well, because of the fence that the owner is going to put in, there really isn't any through traffic that would create an issue with patrons parking towards the front of the lot in front of the fence.
But how about 2 people at the same time trying to get out at the same time? That's an issue that I was
As with any
concerned
other
about.
parking lot in town.
Okay. So they didn't feel that was going to be an issue if more than 2 people customers tried to get through at the same time. That was not going to be an issue.
They did not feel that was going to be an issue, no.
Anyone else? Then we're going to have a vote on that, please. Roll call.
Trustee Kazone?
No.
Trustee Salella?
Can we clarify our vote?
You're voting to postpone this item until first meeting in January to address the parking issue, I guess.
Thank you. No.
Okay, Trustee Murphy?
No.
Trustee Wagner?
No.
Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
No. So that'll remain on the agenda. Any other corrections? Any amendments to the agenda? Okay. Seeing done, we'll move on to number 5, which is the consent agenda, which is the bill listing for the week of December 9th, 2019, in a total amount of $2,645,546.03. The minutes of the board meeting held on December 2nd, 2019. Minutes of the public hearing held on December 2nd, 2019. Do I have a motion for the consent agenda? Trustee Wagner?
I'd like to make that motion.
We have a second. Trustee
Second.
Ciala? Okay. Any questions? Seeing none? Okay, roll call vote.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Salella?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Yes. Item number 6 is the first reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, amending the Villa Park Municipal Code by increasing the number of Class AAA liquor licenses. Manager Keenan.
Thank you, Your Honor. In November of 2017 and again in June of 2019, the Village Board awarded a Class B liquor license to the owner of 302 East St. Charles Road for the establishment of the Beverage Hub. The owners have changed their business plan, the name of the proposed establishment to 302 On Tap Selective Liquors, and have appealed to the board for a new liquor license. At the board meeting held on December 2nd, 2019, the board voted to proceed with the necessary steps to issue a new class of liquor license to the new owner, Mr. James Anthony. Pending approval of Mr. Anthony's background check, which is currently in review, this ordinance would approve an increase in the number of Class AAA licenses. With approval of this license, along with the approval of Agenda Item 6D, there would be a total of 2 AAA liquor licenses. Thank you, Your Honor.
Seeing that this is a first reading, we don't need a motion. This is an item for discussion. Does any board member have any questions or comments on this? Yes, Trustee Murphy.
Yes, I just have a general comment, and it will cross over a variety of issues this evening, but just in general, from an economic development perspective, I'm getting very concerned about the number of liquor licenses for businesses that have limited to no food options. It appears that we're seeing several at this point in time, and particularly in some of the other areas of town where we don't have a lot of room, and people are asking for liquor licenses, and they're not appearing to have solid business plans to provide any food.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? So seeing no other...
I have another
Trustee
question.
Tucker, yes.
Okay, seeing they, my understanding is this establishment will not have a kitchen facility. My understanding is the pour then will be all plastic throwaway items then? Because they have no way to clean up glasses.
I have no idea. So
So
we can
I'm just-
find out.
Just wondering on the aspect of garbage, because it would be 3 times as much garbage in that area. Do we have additional dumpsters that they're going to need or supply, seeing they have no way to, we're talking a lot of trash.
Well, if you agree to send this forward, we can get those answers for you at the next meeting. Okay? Anyone else? Trustee Ciala?
It's my understanding that this facility is going to be sponsoring food-type events with outside vendors. Is that still not the plan?
As I understand it, yes. If they
So-
have food, it'd be outside vendors, and I
Yeah.
assume they would haul away their trash.
So food really isn't an issue at this particular establishment. There is food being provided to patrons.
Through outside vendors,
Correct.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Trustee
There was
Tucker, you
another
got another question.
mention that he brought up on the issue on, I mean, he's having video games there, but he also brought up to our attention that we don't know what the number for the fire zone was, of how many people he can have in the building. Did we get that number yet?
No,
Okay.
not yet, so.
Okay.
He'll have, whatever the number is, he's gonna have to abide by it. So,
Okay, and the other thing is he going to be required to have a certain amount of parking places for his establishment? Because he just made a comment that he was just gonna use everybody else's, seeing they weren't gonna be open.
well, you
Do
know,
we have a
they-
regulation that his establishment has to have a certain amount of parking places for that?
yes,
So is he going to be required to have that and, that amount?
we'll have to
And
get,
not use everybody else's as being at account?
we'll double check on that, before the next meeting. Yes, Trustee Wagner.
It's my recollection that the dentist or the whatever oral surgeon, whatever he is, will be closed when he's in business, so that should be parking
Correct.
for patrons. I've gone through that area several times, and there's significant parking in back. Yeah.
How many spots, I don't know. Right, okay. Trustee Murphy,
Who owns that parking lot?
the dentist.
For the whole building?
Yes. It's his father-in-law. father. So,
So he's going to make an agreement for the insurance, I
Yes.
take it,
Sure.
for the whole building area.
for a liquor license, he has to have that. Okay, any other objections? Is it okay if we move this on to the formal agenda? Okay, we'll do that. We'll move it on, so. Okay, next one is first reading of ordinance of the Village of Villa Park to Page County, Illinois, amending the Villa Park Municipal Code relating to liquor license and adding a class Quad E restaurant unrestricted license. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. This ordinance creates a new class of liquor license that allows the consumption of alcohol on the premises of a business, but specifies that no gaming will be permitted. No licenses will be assigned at this time. Thank you, Your Honor.
Again, this is a first reading. It's just for discussion before we move it on. As you remember, this was created for the Taco Urbano, who wanted to serve liquors at his restaurant on North Avenue, but was not interested in gaming. So, any questions? Trustee Kazone.
No question, just a comment. I like to reiterate, I like this, where we can control liquor licenses and gaming at the same time. I know a lot of people are getting tired of the amount of gaming that we have in the town. I think it's a good way to kind of control that a little bit.
You know, I get a number of requests every week, somebody who wants to open a little sandwich shop and have gaming in every different class. So, you know, in taverns and whatever. So if this is a little addition, we'll have to address the other classes as the issue comes up. So, anyone have any other questions or comments? Trustee Tucker.
I have a question on what the definition of a restaurant will be. So is a deli shop that just serves sandwiches considered a restaurant under this?
If he has food for consumption on the premises at the table, yes.
That would be considered under a restaurant?
Yes.
So a deli or any place where they could actually buy a sandwich and sit down
Yes,
could request this type of a liquor license
yes,
under this thing, under this guideline?
yes. Anyone else? Okay, we'll move that on to our meeting date first meeting in January. So, okay, let's see, that was 6B. Now we'll move to 6C, is the first reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, amending Village Code, reversing the code, revising the established meeting dates for various commissions. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. Village Code currently requires that the Traffic and Safety Commission meet on the second Tuesday of each month. This standing date has been difficult for the commission to establish a quorum to hold their meetings. Membership of the commission has requested the Village Code be revised to state that the commission shall meet at least monthly on a certain date and time as determined by the chairperson. The Traffic and Safety Commission intends to meet the first Tuesday of every month beginning in January 2020. The proposed ordinance also revises Village Code relating to the specific standing meeting date contained in the code for each of the remaining commissions. With this revision, all commissions shall meet at least monthly on a certain date and time as determined by the chairperson, and will still be required to schedule regular meeting dates for the year. Meeting dates are published annually and posted in compliance with the Open Meetings Act. Thank you, Your Honor.
Again, this is just a first reading, it's for discussion. The original request was for the Traffic and Safety Commission. They wanted to change their date of their meeting, but in the times I've been on the board, there's been a number of occasions when commissions want to change their meeting days, and we just have to keep coming back if they do. And basically what we're doing here, some of our commissions, like Parks and Rec and Police Fire Pension Board, they don't refer to any certain dates that they meet in their ordinance, in their commission, according to ordinance. And this is basically just allow every year the commissions, if they want to meet on a different day. So, like the last sentence here does say, though, we still have to have the dates at the beginning of the year because we need to publish those to meet the Open Meetings Act. So, And with that, have we have any questions? Trustee Tucker.
I just want a clarification on that last statement that you made. So the beginning of the year, they will state that they will meet the first Monday of the month, and that's where it stays. It's not going to be each month that, oh, well, we can't make the first Monday of the month, so we're going to change it to the third Thursday this month.
They have to notify us before the end of the year what days they want to meet in the following year, so that we can publish it in time to meet the requirements of the public.
So they
like-
could decide one month to meet on the first Monday, and like this next month, they can meet on the third Thursday? As
No.
long as it's published on the end of the year, or is it going to be one set date?
No. We want a certain day every month for the whole year.
Thank you. Doesn't-
We're not gonna play that little game up and down, up and down.
Well, that's what I was worried about, that they,
Yeah.
if we opened it up that way,
No.
they could decide one month they wanted this date, and then the next month they were gonna change it to a different date.
Yeah.
No, it will
No.
be a certain date that will stay
It's
that
gonna
date
be
all
on
year long.
Thursday for, the first Thursday for the whole year.
Thank you.
Yes, trustee Wagner?
I just wanted to interject that commissions can have special meetings if there are a certain number of commissioners say that they can, and then it has to be, follow the Open Meetings Act, published within 48 hours, et cetera. So-
That's correct.
Yeah.
Same way if they have to cancel a meeting, they have to let us know, we have to publish that too. So, anyone else? Okay, with that, we'll move it on to our first meeting in January for a second reading. Item 6D is the first reading of the ordinance for the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, amending the municipal code by increasing the number of Class AAA liquor license. Manager Keenan.
Thank you, Your Honor. The owner of 339 East Kenilworth has requested a Class AAA tavern beer and wine only liquor license, which would be used to open a new business called Divine. Divine will be a wine tasting bar with the option to purchase packaged liquor. No food would be served. Ms. Demito is also the owner of Demito's Saloon at 335 East Kenilworth and intends to operate both facilities. With approval of this license, along with the approval of Agenda 6, Item 6A, there would be a total of 2 AAA liquor licenses. Thank you, Your Honor.
Again, this is the first reading, just for comments and questions. So there's no need for a motion. And just so you know, Ms. Demito is here if you have any questions you'd like to ask her. So do we have any questions? Trustee Wagner.
I think many of us remember the business that was called Park and Vine. It was on Park, and it was quite successful until the owner had to close because of illness in their family. I'm just wondering if that's going to be similar, if you're familiar with that establishment, and is your business going to be like that?
Ms. DeVito, come on up to the microphone, please, and you can give us a little overview of what your
Sure.
hopes are.
Actually, I've heard of it, but I never actually was there. So from what I've heard of it, it sounds similar to the idea that I want to create over there, which will be, we'll have wine tastings, but you could also order a glass of wine. It'll be very small and very quaint. It'll be just a part of the building of the 204. I actually made a little file here. I don't know if you want me to present it and show it or not.
Hold up, maybe we can just
Okay.
see it.
This is a drawing of, well, this would be Demito's right here, and this is Kenilworth, and this is the alley, which opens up to, used to be like deliveries and, loading back here and the dumpsters. This is all of the 204 building. This is Villa Avenue here. This is the address, which is all part of this building, but this would be on Kenilworth, so that would be the little area that's for the wine bar. The opening, well, if you probably never noticed, I don't know if you've ever noticed it, but in front of the building here, there's like a boarded up, I think at one time it might have been maybe a garage or some kind of place like that where they worked on vehicles. Anyways, I'm going to put like something from like Tuscany or the Mediterranean or England, like old French doors that'll open up. It'll have an old industrial feel. And then it'll be like a wall here with like old bookshelves, and then the wine will be on those bookshelves, and then there'll be like the rolling ladders, so, and then a bar around it with, a small bar, probably 6 to 8 seats, and then probably about 4 to 6 tables right here. And this will open up here to, this will all be excavated with like cobblestone and twinkle lights and vines, and then vertical garden boxes. And these will all be, this is just an idea of other units here. When Jan was still here, we talked about this, and we would make it where this is all a shared patio. So all these other businesses, which I'd like to lease out to businesses that would be, businesses that, foot traffic. I'd like to see maybe either a coffee shop or a breakfast shop, or maybe a art shop, or just stuff that people would like to walk by. Maybe stuff that has to do with the path for bicycles, or dog walking, that kind of thing, where people will walk around and then they can go have this shared patio experience. This is just a drawing of the actual inside of it, which this would be on, on Kenilworth, and you'd walk through. Oh, on the first one here, where this opens up here, this is going to be like big wrought iron gates, something you'd see like the entrance to, I don't know, something in Tuscany or something like that. And then as you walk through, it's like a little secret garden, secret Villa Park garden patio that could be shared by all these places, all these businesses. And then this one is, again, the inside of it. So basically what I just explained here, the bookshelf here, and then the rolling ladder for the wine, and then the bar with and then all the tables. And then this would be a unisex ADA bathroom. And these are just ideas of what, so something like this would be on Kenilworth. So like an old school, French doors, very old school looking, and maybe either an awning or the old school lights. And then this is an idea of the inside with the rolling ladder, very, back in time kind of thing. This is just an idea of the feel of it, like old Tuscany or something out of England. Actually, that one picture of the front of it is a picture of it, one of the oldest places in England. This is an idea of the feeling of the twinkle lights and the vineyards that would go across the top, and the shared patio with the cobblestone streets. Patio, not street. And then just an idea of the vertical gardens. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
So she's looking for a tavern liquor license, and that would allow them to serve the wine for wine tasting, sell them a glass of wine, but also be able to sell a bottle of wine if the people like that wine.
Yeah.
So that's why she falls into the AAA category.
Yeah.
Just the Cazone.
A couple things. I saw the rendering on Halloween when you had the trick or treating. At that time, you were talking about doing like cheese and meats and that. Are you still planning on doing something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
So there wouldn't be a kitchen, but it would be just, I'd like to do little cutting boards of like cheese and crackers, hummus, pita bread, just finger food.
And would you do that out of Demito's?
No.
But
this
it
is
would be
completely
right there.
separate from
Okay.
Demito's. And I want to create a completely different type of atmosphere on the shared garden patio there, something a little more relaxed and mellow. I'd like to maybe do like checkerboards out there, and people could come and have coffee in the morning and that kind of thing, and wine. It's just a low-key, relaxed, mellow type of atmosphere.
Just the,
I like that idea.
How would, Demito's entertainment coincide with a quiet, tranquil Tuscany type setting? Is that going to be a conflict with people trying to experience what you're offering?
I don't think we conflict with any of the other businesses in the area.
Well, I meant the music, the level of music that I've experienced in the past, and the type of music, though I'm a fan. I'm just wondering how that would affect a new business that you're trying to launch there.
Okay. That's a good question. I don't think it'll affect it. My plan is to have like I said, a more relaxed, I don't know, I'm thinking Frank Sinatra and that type of atmosphere type of music. At Demito's, the patio is completely on the other side of the building, and we usually only have bands on one night a weekend, so I don't think it'll affect it. If it did come to something where, you could hear that over there, we'll have to adjust it. I don't know if this place would be someplace that would still be required to be open to the later hours that are available. If it is, great, if there's people that want to go to something more. Like I said, I'd like to do a breakfast place too, so if that was something that would share, I'd like to lease it and have somebody else do a breakfast place, but that would be shared with that, so I don't know what that has to do with that, but anyways,
I get it. Thank you.
sure.
Anyone else? Trustee Tucker.
You are entertaining video gaming in that wine atmosphere, are you?
Well, that's not part of the business plan right now. I don't know in the future if that would be something that I'd be interested in doing, but at the moment, it's not. But I don't want to, I'd say definitely if, in the future that came across, that I'd already said no, and then,
You really don't have enough room there
no.
to cordon off a part
Yeah.
of that.
It's a
Pretty
smaller
small.
area. The unit's only 25 by 25,
Yeah.
so.
And from your drawing, you said that was only the portion from Kenilworth. So the portion on Villa is still going to
Yeah.
be developed differently, is what you were saying?
Yeah, other
Okay, so you're only
storefronts
talking
or-
about the back half, the portion from Kenilworth side,
Yes, it's just
not
that.
leading into the Villa side, but just the Kenilworth
Correct.
section?
Yeah.
Okay, and that section, you said you were hoping to have it go into the alley which you purchased.
Yeah,
Using that behind it as an area.
yeah.
Are you planning on having this established open Monday through 7 days a week, or are you just
Yeah.
7
Yeah.
days a week?
Mhm.
So you're hoping to do this wine tasting 7 days a week?
Well, it wouldn't always be just wine tasting. I mean, it would be a wine bar. So you can come in and order a glass of wine and sit down and relax. But it's not going to be constantly, I mean, it'll be wine tasting, but it'll also be a wine bar. Sounds like I said, I haven't been to the other place that was on Park, but it sounds like it would be similar to, from what people have told me about that place. They said they liked it a lot, and
And you are planning to submit your designs, I take it, after you find out if you get your liquor license? If we
well, I
approve
actually
it?
did submit them already.
You
but
haven't made any attempt to submit those plans to planning and zoning or to the village yet on what you plan on putting in there, I take it?
She submitted them
Yeah.
with her request for the liquor license. Planning and zoning doesn't really need them.
Okay,
So, of course, they'll have to be looked at by the fire department to make sure that it comes up to codes and stuff, and come up with a occupancy number, so, but other than that, she doesn't have to submit it to.
so we don't really know what it will look like inside?
Well, what it's gonna look like inside, we have the general drawings, that's what we
Yeah.
get, so.
Okay, so we will get general drawings of what?
Yeah, she already submitted those. Right? You
Yes.
already submitted those
Yes, I
to
did.
Julie?
Yeah,
Okay.
So they have been submitted for some
Yes.
design, so we could know what they actually look like before we vote on
No,
them?
are you asking me what the furniture looks like?
No, I'm asking what basic layout it is. I mean, we're approving a
Yeah, she
wine
just,
location. I just kind of would like to know,
right there, what she showed us on the sheet of paper.
do you want me to show you? Do you want me to bring it to you?
I would like
All
to
right, I
just
could
kind
show
of
it to
get
you
an
again if
idea
you-
of
oh,
what
see.
she has in mind, that's
So
all.
this again, this is Kenilworth here, and this is.
I know, I can't see it. though.
I'm sorry. Okay. Do you want me to bring it to you?
Yeah, bring it up there to
Okay.
her, please.
You have to give it to me first. Thank you.
No, I could see the pictures. I just kind of want to know the general idea of what we're approving liquor license for.
I think the building's approximately 100 years old, and through the exposed brick. So it's gonna have that, you have to go to the microphone.
Okay. Yes, trustee Murphy.
Just two things. Is the type of liquor license under discussion automatically authorizing her to have the ability to put in gaming? Or if she chooses to move forward with the gaming, is that a different liquor license?
It would, this current classification would allow gaming.
It would allow gaming?
Yes.
So do we have the option of approving the alternative liquor license that's under discussion, which would be a liquor license with no gaming?
We don't have a liquor license in that class that restricts gaming. We'd have to create one.
And that's different than the one we talked about earlier today?
Yes, the earlier one today was a restaurant.
Okay, and the only other comment, again, from an economic development perspective, is I'm starting to get worried in the Villa Avenue area of, there are several places that serve alcohol, many more places that serve alcohol in comparison to the number that serve food. So I would encourage some of those other spaces. I know we have somewhat limited abilities of what goes into those, especially if we don't own the buildings. But I am beginning to get concerned in both that area and an alternative location in Villa Park of an awful lot of alcohol and very little food.
Okay.
I just wanted to make one more comment on that. And this is probably moving forward. I'm kind of disappointed that we revitalized Villa business districts, but we're still saying, but we still haven't changed anything. It's still a hub for alcohol establishments. So the number of bars and places selling alcohol hasn't changed much. I thought we were revitalizing the place, but we've gone back to the 70s and 60s where we had a multitude of liquor establishes in that area, and we're, it's basically a hub for drinking. And now gaming, possibly.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, have any objections to moving this forward? Just let me know now. If not, we're going to move it on. So, okay, it'll be on our next reading, which will be the first meeting in January. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the information, Ms. D'Amato.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 7A is a second and final reading of an ordinance adopting a budget for the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, for all corporate purposes in lieu of an annual appropriation ordinance for the fiscal year commencing on January 1st, 2020, and ending on December 31st, 2020. Manager Keenan.
Thank you, Your Honor. The village's calendar year 2020 budget ordinance provides for the continued provision of village services as well as significant capital investment as discussed during the village's budget presentation held at the November 25th board meeting, public hearing held on December 2nd, and the first reading of the adoption ordinance held on December 2nd. The budget draft has been available for public inspection since November 11th at Village Hall and on the village's website. The budget covers the 12-month period from January 1st, 2020 through December 31st, 2020, and has been updated to reflect recent changes, rollover bonds, IRMA contribution, and cell tower revenue. Thank you, Your Honor.
Do I have a motion for the second reading? Trustee Wagner?
I'd like to make that motion.
Do we have a second? Trustee Kazone?
I'll second it.
Any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Silella?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Volpus?
Yes. Item 7B is a second and final reading of an ordinance levying taxes for the fiscal year of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, commencing on the first day of January 2019 and ending on the 31st day of December 2019. Manager Keenan.
Thank you, Your Honor. The 2019 tax levy process is well underway. The library board approved their levy on September 25th. The village board adopted a resolution estimating the tax levy on October 14th, and several abatement ordinances were approved on November 11th. The final version of this ordinance has been updated to reflect the rollover bonds. The total levy for the village and library is $12,323,067 and has been abated to $10,551,116, an increase of 2.4%. While the truth in taxation hearing was not required, the public has had several opportunities to review and comment on the levy. The final amount will likely be reduced by DuPage County due to tax caps. A majority of the levy is subject to a 1.9% tax cap plus new growth. Thank you, Your Honor.
Do you have a motion for the second reading? Trustee Kazone?
Mr. President, I'll make the motion.
Second, trustee
Second.
Selah. Okay, any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
Trustee Salela?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes,
President Bolfus?
Yes. Item 7C is the second and final reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, amending historical references to cannabis within the Village Municipal Code. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. With the approval of the Cannabis Regulations and Tax Act previously set forth in Village Code in Article 20, Chapter 13, the statewide legalization of recreational cannabis requires that various references to cannabis previously set forth in Village Code be amended. The ordinance being considered amends those sections of the Villa Park Municipal Code regulating cannabis, which predate the act. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, at our places tonight, there was one change in this ordinance. On the very last page is added Section 5, and that reads Article 20, Chapter 13, Section 13-2003 of the Villa Park Municipal Code is hereby amended by adding the following. O, it shall be unlawful to transfer, purchase, possess, use, transport, consume, or grow cannabis by any person under age 21 and under 21 years of age unless authorized by the Compassionate Use of Cannabis Program Act. Made that one correction. So if it's possible, I'd like to request a motion to approve the ordinance as amended based on what you have in front of you. So motion to approve as amended. Trustee Kazone?
Mr. President, I'll make the motion to approve that as amended by adding that section 0 there.
5. Section 5.
Section 5, yeah.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. All right. Any, trustee Wagner second. Trustee Tucker?
can I ask a question?
Yes. Ready.
Okay. On part F, where it says it's unlawful for any persons under the age of 21 to possess, should there not also be cannabis in there also?
Okay, can you say that again, please?
Should there not, I mean, is that just for tobacco products? Or should it also state that, to add the line, that cannabis should not be possessed also?
If you're referring to the section 5, which we're adding
Strictly.
on the last page,
So that would be part of that section 5, but my question is the sales of it. Because I notice in the fines, it does not, I mean, it says it's unlawful to sell tobacco to persons under the age 21 for tobacco but it doesn't, it only states unlawful to use it.
okay,
Should there not be,
where are you at?
I'm at the violations, so it'd be
Okay, wait a
section
minute.
4. You added O for the F part, but on section 4, chapter 1, section 1 through 1,
We already have. Right. So, I wasn't paying attention right there where you were telling me what you're, I was looking for it. So you're, up above in section 4, they refer to cannabis, drug paraphernalia, tobacco, and unlawful sale of paraphernalia. Is that what you're looking for?
Yes, my question is, shouldn't there be a line that says unlawful to sell cannabis also to underage for 13-203?
Okay, the manager advises me, it's already contained in section 13-2003, and it also stipulates a fine of $100, minimum fine of $100.
So it's already specified somewhere else in what section? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Right, the first section right here, 13-2003, which is in here.
Right,
It's
so under the unlawful to use that, it's also listed in there, it's unlawful to sell it to anyone under 21?
Yes.
Okay. I did not see that
I know
part.
this is confusing because there's 4 different ordinances that are being
Right.
modified.
I
We don't
didn't
have them all yet.
When I went back to look at that, I did not see that as being part of it. I just saw that it was unlawful to use it, and the fine, I did not see that it was unlawful to sell.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Just pointing out, the bottom one under number 5O makes it unlawful to sell. Shall be unlawful to transfer, use, consume, grow. Things sort of included in there.
It basically says for any person under the age, it doesn't,
Right. In other words, under 21, they can't have it. Can't buy it, can't use it, can't sell it. Yes, trustee Murphy.
Okay, so, but your concern, if I'm understanding you correctly,
I'm concerned if
is
somebody
someone
older than
sells
21.
it to someone 21. This says you can't use it or transfer it if you're 21. But I think what we're looking for is what if someone sells it to underage people? What is their penalty, and is that documented somewhere?
Probably is, we have to look it up, it's probably in the same section where you can't sell tobacco.
Okay, that's my concern, because that's, takes care of somebody under the age of 21 doing it, but it doesn't say if somebody, say 30 or 40 decides to sell it to somebody under 21, is there a penalty?
Well, yes, that's right there.
No, it says it should be unlawful to transfer, purchase,
The
possess,
transfer is the same
grow,
as
or
selling.
hemp for anyone under 20.
Transfer is the same as selling. The same,
But it's saying by any person under 21, we're suggesting that if it's
Somebody
a
over.
dispensary and they get caught selling it to somebody under 21, then is it documented that they will be penalized, and if so, what the penalties will be?
well, if they're selling it, they're transferring it. So, yeah,
May I?
okay, go ahead.
So if you look currently in Village Code or above, so above on Section 3, Chapter 1, Section 1-101.1, minimum fines, if you look at the last sentence, the possession of cannabis under the heading violation, we're replacing it with unlawful use of cannabis. So if you go back down to your violations, unlawful use of cannabis under Section 13, Section 203. If you look that up in Village Code right now, the minimum fine is $150. So if you're under 21 and you happen to be arrested for the use of cannabis, you go back to Section 13-203 and in the code, and when you pull up the municipal code on the website, the minimum fine that the adjudication officer can apply would be a minimum of 150 to a maximum of a 750 per instance. So, thank you.
Excuse me, but that's still not referencing
Yeah,
if they sell it to someone under, if they're,
See, they were requesting what's the penalty for selling.
Right, you have it listed here, unlawful sales of tobacco and,
is cannabis
Yeah,
considered
can-
tobacco,
is
or
it
should it be
considered-
its own line item?
I'm wondering, it should be its own line item, where,
Mayor?
go
Yes,
ahead.
This ordinance that you have before me is only making corrections to your code as it relates to other references within your code. Your cannabis regulations as well as state statute prohibit the sale to anyone under 21. Not only would they be subject to fines within your code, but they'd also be subject to forfeiture of their license.
And that's documented where again?
Documented within the other regulations that you have within your code in adopting your business regulations relating to cannabis and establishment of those facilities, as well as statute. The Cannabis Act, the state law.
So the state law would cover somebody on the street selling it to a minor?
No. If they're out on the street selling it to somebody, that would be in violation of
A lot of laws.
yes, that you cannot be out on the street selling the cannabis. That would, I would have to refer over to your police department at that time. That's still illegal.
Well, my question
state
is because they
statute.
can,
By state
I mean, it's unlawful to sell tobacco to a person. Is this only businesses that is this violations are for?
No.
Okay.
I think basically what the attorney's saying, what we're saying, it's in the selling of the cannabis to anyone under 21 is in the state statute and is in our penalty code also. If we don't have it, if we miss it, it's still a violation of state law.
Okay. So it would be a penalty in state law. The other thing is updating on our chart for ordinances on that. We have it listed under minors for 18, not 21,
For what?
for the violations.
Are you talking about cannabis or are you talking
No,
about
I'm
alcohol?
talking
or-
about tobacco and alcohol.
Well, we've already changed the tobacco rule a while ago to page 21.
It's not in our codes, though. Our codes still list under 18.
Right here.
Yes, but our codes on the thing, is it going to be updated?
Well, yeah, all these ordinances, when they get passed,
They'll be
update the
updated,
codes.
okay, because
Yeah.
right now it says 18.
Sometimes they're a little slower updating the codes, but they all get updated. We send them to the outfit that does the updating for us.
Okay, because at the present time, it says under 18.
Yeah, that'll change. Anything else? Okay, with not that, we'll have a roll call vote to, in favor of this ordinance as amended.
Okay, Trustee Salella?
Yes.
Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes,
President Bolfus?
Yes, and that passes. Item number 9A is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving a capital improvement plan for the calendar year 2020 through 2024. Manager Keenan.
Thank you, Your Honor. I don't have my page. Can I borrow your page? Thank you, Your Honor. The Village's CY 2020-24 Capital Improvement Plan is a multi-year planning instrument used to identify needed capital improvements to coordinate the financing and timing of these capital improvements in such a way to maximize the return to the public. Originally presented to the board at the November 25th, 2019 board meeting, the draft CIP has been available for public inspection since November 11th, 2019 at the Village Hall and on the Village's website. The proposed CIP encompasses all single-family and multi-year capital improvement costs of more than $25,000 with a life expectancy of at least 20 years and includes all projects in this year's budget and planned projects for the next 5 years. Revenues to fund this program will come from the referendum-approved bond proceeds, a dedicated half-cent non-home rural sales tax, water supply and wastewater funds, grants, loans, and drainage fees, TIF revenue, and corporate fund transfers. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, let's see, where were we? So we're down here, okay. All right, do I have a motion for the resolution?
Excuse me, is there a reason we skipped 8A?
We're taking care of that,
Okay.
okay? Do we have a motion for what's on the table right now? Trustee Wagner?
I'd like to make that motion.
Trustee Sala?
Second.
Okay. So, any questions or comments on that's one? Let's see, where are resolutions? Okay. Too many pages. So. Seeing none? Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Sillala?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Yes. Okay. Trustee Tucker had me shuffling pages here. I missed 8A. So 8A is an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, granting a special use for a building service in a C3 zoning district and a variation to erect an accessory structure in excess of 100 square foot at 187 East North Avenue. Manager Keenan.
Thank you, Your Honor. The petitioner, George Bennis of Midland Plumbing, is seeking a special use and variation to operate a business with a building service use and erect an accessory structure in excess of 100 square feet on the property located at 187 East North Avenue. Mr. Bennis would like to move his existing business from East Hill Street to his property located at 187 East North Avenue. As part of this relocation, he plans to erect an accessory structure to the house for his business's snow plowing operations and rent out a portion of the building to another business. On November 14, 2019, the Planning and Zoning Commission unanimously recommended approval of the special use and variation request. Thank you, Your Honor.
Do you have a motion for the ordinance? Trustee Wagner?
I'd like to make that motion.
I'll second.
Second. Trustee Sala? Okay. Any questions or comments from the board? Trustee Murphy?
Yes, can you help me to understand why that's considered a special use? Is it because it's a salt dome?
Patrick Grillo would be happy to answer that question.
No, the new zoning code that we passed last year includes under the uses section a building service, which is defined as a uses that provide maintenance and repair services for all structural and mechanical elements of structures as well as the exterior spaces of a premise. Typical uses include contractor offices, janitorial, landscape maintenance, extermination, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, window cleaning, and similar services. And when we adopted this ordinance last year, we included that specifically as a special use in the C3 district. That's why they need the special use. The variance is related to the salt dome in the backside of the structure or property.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Trustee Patrick?
Just a quick question. It says that a portion of the building would be rented out to another business. Do we have an idea of what type of business that would be?
Yes, I sent to all the board members a whole plan from a business requesting a liquor license down the future. And was it Sabrina's or Sabrina's? So yeah, you all had that. I sent you that about 3 weeks ago.
And Sabrina's is what?
It's going to be a sort of a restaurant and with gaming.
A restaurant with gaming?
Yes.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, roll call vote.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
No.
Trustee Patrick?
No.
Trustee Sillala?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Yes. So, that passes. So, okay, now, if I'm on schedule here, we're down to 9B. I got that right, everybody? Okay. Okay. All right, 9B is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, accepting a proposal from C. Acetali Heating and Piping Contractors Incorporated of Villa Park, Illinois, for the purchase and installation of 3 new Doken and McQuarrie unit ventilators for the Iowa Community Center in amount of $39,966 and waiving the requirement of open and competitive bidding. Manager Keenan.
Thank you, Your Honor. 3 Herman Nelson unit ventilators at the Iowa Community Center have broken and require replacement. The village solicited proposals from 5 companies and received 3 proposals for the purchase and installation of the 3 replacement units. It is recommended that the project be awarded to C. Acitelli Heating and Piping Contractors, Inc. of Villa Park, Illinois, which submitted the lowest responsible proposal in the amount of $39,966. Funding for this project would be taken from non-capital outlay building fund account number 6750202402. Thank you, Your Honor.
Do I have a motion for the resolution? Trustee Kazone?
Mr. President, I'll make that motion.
Trustee Ciala?
I'll second.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the board? Trustee Kazone?
My question is, how are the remaining 36 heaters? Are we going to be needing to, like, replace them all at once, or are we going to schedule a replacement on any kind of a program here?
Brian came. He's all ready. He all dressed up for this. So.
Thanks.
Yeah, they don't rental?
The remaining heaters are all the same age, the age of the building. So we've tried to budget for them and include them in a plan to get them replaced out over the next few years.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Trustee Murphy?
Yes, can you help clarify the differentiation between waiving the requirement of open and competitive bidding in comparison to the village soliciting proposals?
Manager Keener, you have a difference between waiving and competitive bidding?
Well, what we did is we wanted to go to the proposal way to speed up the repair process. If we use the open and competitive bidding, which is almost the same, it would delay the project from being completed and probably push it back to April. But by using the proposal, we think that the 3 heaters can be repaired sometime in January during winter rather than waiting until spring.
And we can do that with no negative repercussions?
That's correct. Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Trustee Tucker?
In this proposal, did you state how many heaters there are actually in that building?
I don't know if I did. 24.
There's 24 heaters?
There are 24.
And they're all the same age.
Correct.
Anyone else? Okay, roll call vote.
Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Silella?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
President Volkes?
Yes. Okay, item 10 is public comments on non-agenda items. Anyone signed up?
I have no one.
Okay, anybody from the public have any non-agenda items? Okay, seeing none. So the clerk's report.
I have no report. Thank you.
Okay. Trustees report. Trustee Murphy.
Just 2 quick ones. The first would be congratulations to our Save Lufkin Pool group. The Park Advocates received an award on Wednesday, December the 11th from the Citizen Advocacy Center. It was a 2019 Citizen Initiative Award for all of their efforts with respect to Lufkin Pool, as well as many of their efforts toward the spring election. So congratulations to the Lufkin Pool group. And also, a sincere thank you to all of our residents for all of your input throughout the calendar year and your support. And I wish everyone a happy and safe holiday season. Thank you.
Trustee Tucker.
I just want to wish everybody a safe and happy holiday season also, and a very Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Trustee Wagner.
Thank you, President Volkes. Just a couple things. First, I want to thank Trustee Tucker for letting us know about the holiday concert that was held at Community Congregational Church. I went and attended that, and it was really excellent. Everything she said it was. The musicians were wonderful. The reception afterwards was great. And from what I understand from their music director, Justin, they may be trying to do this every month. And the church is a beautiful old church, one of the oldest churches in town. And I think that GM Smith at 203 South Mill is still doing their food collection. That's going on until the 20th, so I would encourage folks who would like to contribute, to those who are needy, I would encourage them to do so. And the Environmental Concerns Commission, it may be listed on the village calendar that they're meeting this month. They are not meeting this month. And I also would like to offer Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Winter Solstice, or whatever other holiday you celebrate, have a wonderful holiday season. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Patrick?
Thank you. I would just like to say to everyone out there and at home watching, may the holiday season fill your home with joy, your heart with love, and your life with laughter. From the Patrick family to yours, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Thank you.
Trustee Stila?
Yes, thank you. First, I'd like to thank our wonderful village for our tree lighting ceremony we had last weekend. It was well attended, very nicely done. Thank all the vendors who participated and aided them with the needs to make that possible. It was really nice. And also, I'd like to say to staff and to our current board and our residents, Merry Christmas, and have a safe New Year.
Thank you. Trustee Gazone?
The Economic Development Commission is meeting this Wednesday at 5:30 up here in the second floor of City Hall. So anyone's interested in what our Economic Development Commission's doing, feel free to stop by. We've got a lot of activity that's been going on in the last year or so, so we're moving ahead. Secondly, I'd like to say, give my props to Manager Keener and our Public Works Department for getting the project finished at AT&T. It looks like that's moving along, and paperwork's getting filed as it should be. So with FEMA, so I think they did a great job getting that project done so quickly and moving that project along. And finally, happy holidays, Merry Christmas to everyone, and have a safe and healthy New Year, and we'll see you next year.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move to President's Report. First off, our next board meeting is on Monday, January 13th. We'll be back on schedule. I think the manager, do you have an update on the St. Charles Road Bridge? Or was that in your report?
It could have been, Your Honor.
Okay. Why don't you give it to us now?
Well, it's looking very favorable, so it sounds like the 5 inches of concrete will be poured later on this week along with the sidewalk for the south side. And if you've driven by the bridge lately, you can see that the asphalt approaches are done. So we believe, along with Rich Salerno and Kevin Mantles, that the concrete will be poured later this week. Then it has to cure for a number of days. So hopefully the St. Charles Road Bridge will be open maybe just after Christmas or maybe a little bit before it. And then once it opens, that means that the weight restriction would be lifted also. So thank you, Your Honor.
And I think we're all in touch with Pace on the bus starting shortly after that opens.
Yes, I have been, Your Honor.
Okay, good. All right. I would just like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and thank you for all your people for watching and attend the meetings. Thank you, staff, for all the work you've done. I appreciate your work. But just I just want to tell everybody, you know, this is a special time of year. Take some time out, enjoy your family, because you don't know how long you're going to have any of them around. So just enjoy the holiday season with family and your friends. So. Okay, and we'll move on to the manager's report.
Well, thank you, Your Honor. You know, I have to apologize in advance to Chief Mike because I did not let him know that I was going to ask him to come to the podium to describe what occurred last Saturday. So Mike and I met today, and Mike was telling me about the food drive. And I was very impressed and very proud of our police department. So, Mike, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about what transpired?
So our police department has a benevolent association to help out members of the police department, times of need, and also help out with other community events and things that are going on. This year, when the notice that Kathy Smith from GM Smith & Son came out that she was doing the food drive, our president of the Benevolent, Officer Kitching, decided that this was an event that the Benevolent was going to help out with. And so with some help of the other members, he decided to organize a way to assist the food drive and coordinated assistance of letting us set up a table, if you will, in front of Jewel on Saturday. So the table opened up from 7 o'clock, went till about 5 o'clock at night. Several members of the police department volunteered their time throughout the day for a couple hours at a time. And the residents, people that came to shop there were very, very generous and donated I couldn't even tell you how much food was there. I stopped over by Kathy's office this afternoon, and her front area is just filled with boxes and boxes of non-perishable food. And we were also giving quite a few monetary donations as well that were turned into other food purchases and gift cards that will be donated as part of her food drive that she does on an annual basis. So, like Manager Keener said, the police department, members of the police department, many of them stepped up and just did a phenomenal job in helping out those that are in a little less fortunate situations than some of us during the season. So, thank you. And thanks to everybody that came out and supported everything, the police department and the food drive. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. So.
And Your Honor, I'd just like to wish everyone and your family and friends a safe and happy holiday season. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now so we'll move on now to the executive session. The only thing we had for executive session was if there was any questions on what's item number 16A on the agenda, which is basically nothing has changed. It's the same thing that we had talked about the last time we were in exec session. It's just putting it in a formal setting and formal approval. So if anybody is okay, if you're all okay with it, we'll just skip the executive session and we'll just go right on to 16A. But unless somebody has questions you want to talk about in exec session, we can do that. So is it okay if we just proceed without exec?
Proceed.
Okay. Okay, then we'll go on to item number 16A, which is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving the contract for purchase and sale of the village-owned surplus property located at 257 to 277 East North Avenue to Green Tide Ventures, LLC. Manager Keenan.
Thank you, Your Honor. Green Tide Ventures has submitted an offer to purchase the village-owned surplus property located at 257 to 277 East North Avenue. If awarded a recreational cannabis license from the state of Illinois, Green Tide Ventures would construct a cannabis dispensary. This dispensary would be a 10,000 to 20,000 square foot building that would employ approximately 20 people. Green Tide Ventures estimated that the facility would generate $20 million of revenue annually. The purchase price is $1.1 million. Thank you, Your Honor.
Do we have a motion for the resolution? Trustee Wagner?
I'll make that motion.
Do you have a second?
I'll second it.
Trustee Sayala? Any questions or comments from the board? Trustee Murphy?
Can you help me to understand how that building, with respect to that location, would impact our 1,500 feet markers and other alternative dispensaries?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Manager Keener?
Thank you, Your Honor. That's a very good question, Trustee Murphy and his staff. We've talked about that on many occasions, how the state statute describes that no dispensary can be located within 1,500 feet of another. And so with that particular location, we feel confident that it's not going to be affected by the Village of Addison or going to the east into Elmhurst. However, something located on North Avenue could have a potential impact upon that site or at its own site if it's located within 1,500 feet. And there could be one that's very, very close to that footage. Thank you, Your Honor.
So originally, we were suggesting if we went from town border to town border, 1,500 feet apart, we thought perhaps there could be a potential for 4 dispensaries, I believe. And how does this impact that? Will this reduce?
It's more likely we could fit 3 in.
Okay.
With this location, are we still with the 3 or would it be 2?
Probably 2, Your Honor.
Yeah, it would be 2. It'd be one farther up north.
So it's kind of right in the middle of where we were.
So we had somebody interested in this, oh, here comes the map. We had somebody interested in the center section. But, oh, that's the, so is it the blue where our property's at, or?
Your Honor?
Yep.
May Director Burke discuss this with us?
Sure.
Yes, it's actually in the blue area.
Okay. And the other person we had, they were interested in front of the Target down by Ardmore. And see, the blue would knock that one out. That was the Starbuds that had come back, but that one would knock that one out, so. We had somebody else in the green area, which is at Lincoln and North. They were at our last board meeting, if you remember right. That's the green circle, way over on the left-hand side, so. That one would be okay, but basically, it would just leave us 2 in Village Park on North Avenue.
But that would not necessarily alleviate Starbucks from choosing an alternative location, would it? It just means they
You have to
can't
be outside that circle.
go where, but there
Yes.
could be other alternatives if we were to encourage them to go to some of the other zoning spaces.
Right. Aren't that many spaces along there? though,
Maybe
that aren't-
Roosevelt.
Pardon me?
Maybe Roosevelt.
Oh, that's on yeah, that's on the south side.
Right.
We do have some circles on the south side too. You want to turn it over so look at the bottom circles?
It's like Vanna.
Holy cow.
Okay.
So that would just, if you look at the bottom there, maybe 2 or 1 down there, so.
There would
Depends on
be
what,
enough
depends on
space
what
from the south
Lombard
side?
does and what Oak Creek Terrace does. So those would affect what could happen down there, so. Yes.
Manager Keener, could you give us and our residents a little bit of history on this property? It's my understanding perhaps that that's been available for a while, and we're somewhat anxious to have the opportunity to move that property.
May I, Your Honor?
Sure. We bought that property just before the recession, if I remember right, so
Yes.
go ahead.
Oh, thank you, Your Honor. Yes, as President Boltweiss just mentioned, we did buy that, the village bought that property just before the recession, issued bonds. If I'm not mistaken, they were Build America bonds at that point, purchased that particular property, and then there was a building on that property, and we demolished that building, thinking that when the building was demolished, it would help us sell that particular property quicker. It actually, we did sign a contract, but it was slowed down because of the cell tower arrangement at the rear of the property, where the cell tower arrangement does not affect this current offer of purchase. So, yes, the village is quite anxious to sell that surplus property and put it on the property tax rolls and have something developed there that would provide annual revenue stream to the village. Thank you, Your Honor.
Just one more?
Yep.
The purchase price is documented at $1,100,000. How does that relate to do we have an appraised value for that property?
Yeah, we do. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, we have an appraisal that was completed some months ago, and 1.1 million is right in the ballpark of the appraisal.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything else? Nope. Trustee Tucker.
I have a question on, because if we sell the property of where it's located, then it will make a difference on businesses that sell to younger clientele, correct? Or is it gonna make no difference on that? I mean, we've got a store on the corner there that sells biking and sports equipment, so it has no effect on those businesses, correct?
I don't know what you mean by effect on.
Well, seeing it can't
Are you
be
talking
located in any
So
area.
you're talking about the sale of cannabis at that location?
Right. From state regulations, is that going to make a difference on what type of businesses we can have in the area?
No, the only
Due to
business
it.
they can't have there is more cannabis.
Okay, so it won't have effect on what type of businesses we have in the
No.
area of what clientele they have if they, okay.
No.
That's what I want to know. It's not going, there's no regulations
No.
that state that,
No, still no.
okay.
Anyone else, Trustee Kazon?
Yeah, it's just my understanding, just to clear it up, it's my understanding, the only state regulation is that it's a certain distance from like schools, correct? Outside of that, there's no other,
Daycare.
or daycare, yeah,
You can't have a daycare there.
Yeah,
right. But outside of that, there's no other regulations on what you can and can't have in the area.
right. And also, this would be a special use. So whatever they want to put there would have to come to the Planning and Zoning Commission too. So. Yes.
One more. We had mentioned in here the purchase of the property, and then also that if they're awarded a recreational cannabis license, that's what they choose to do. Would the sale of this property go through before the license, or is the purchase of that property contingent on them getting this license?
My interpretation is, considering the length of the due diligence period and the back out, they're waiting to get a license. And if they probably don't get the license, they'll probably back out. Yes, Manager Keenan?
Thank you, Your Honor. However, if you recall, a part of this sales and purchase contract allows the village to still market that property through the governmental inspection period. So even though they have, if this is approved this evening, a approved sales and purchase contract, the village still has the ability to market that property. If we locate another buyer, they have first right to match that. Thank you, Your Honor.
We've been trying to sell that property for 10 years, so haven't had any luck. Okay, seeing no other questions, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Solella?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Yes, that passes, and with that, we'll have a motion to adjourn. Trustee Kazone,
Mr. President, I'll make that motion.
is there a second?
Second.
Trustee Stella, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned.